Once upon a time, there was a girl, and she had such beautiful and long hair that everyone who saw her could not take their eyes off. The strands were so light, just golden. Therefore, they called her Goldilocks. For all her beauty, she was a very naughty little girl. Mom always allowed her to walk in the yard, but ordered her not to go into the woods behind their house. Goldilocks was very interested to know what is in that forest. And so, while Mother did not see, she somehow left the house into the forest. The girl walked for a long time in the forest. Either he finds a berry, then looks at a beautiful flower, then listens to how the birds sing. So she got lost in the forest. And suddenly she saw an unusual house in a clearing. Goldilocks approached him quietly. I walked around but did not see anyone. She knocked on the door, but no one answered. Then she knocked harder, and the door opened itself. Goldilocks entered cautiously. 3 bears lived in that house. One bear was dad big and shaggy. The other was a mother bear. It was smaller. The third was a little bear. The bears were not at home because they had gone for a walk in the woods. The girl entered the room and saw 3 bowls of porridge on the table. The first bowl, the biggest one, was the daddy bear. The second bowl, the smaller one, was the mother bear, and the third, the smallest, was the bear cub. Near each bowl lay a spoon, large, medium, and small. Goldilocks was so hungry that she first wanted to eat from a large bowl. She took the largest spoon, took the porridge, tasted it, but the porridge was too hot. Then she took a medium spoon, took the porridge, tasted it, but the porridge was too cold. Finally, she took a small spoon and tasted the porridge from the small bowl. This porridge was neither hot nor cold, just right. And Goldilocks ate all the porridge from the little bowl. After eating, the girl wanted to sit and saw 3 chairs near the stove, one large, another smaller, and the third, very small, with a little red pillow. First, she tried to climb into the largest chair, but could not. Then the girl tried to sit on the middle chair, but it was very hard and uncomfortable. Finally, she sat down on the smallest chair, and it was just right for her. Goldilocks liked the chair so much that she began to swing on it. The chair cracked, broke, and she fell to the floor. The girl got up and went to another room. There were 3 beds, large, medium, and small. First, Goldilocks climbed onto the first bed, but it was too high and hard. I lay down on the middle one, it was too spacious and soft. The girl lay down on the third, smallest bed. She was just right for her. Goldilocks felt so comfortable and cozy that she quickly fell asleep. The girl was fast asleep when the bear family returned home. The bears got very hungry and immediately went to the table. Seeing his bowl, Papa Bear got really angry. Someone was eating my porridge, he growled. The bear mother also looked into her bowl and growled less loudly. Someone was eating from my bowl too. And the bear cub, seeing his empty bowl, cried loudly. Someone didn't just eat from my bowl, he ate all my porridge. The bears smelled something was wrong, left the table, and began to look around. Daddy Bear noticed that someone moved his chair and growled in a terrible voice. Someone was sitting on my chair. The bear mother looked at her chair and complained. Someone was sitting on my chair and moved it from its place. And then, the bear looked at his broken chair and again cried loudly. Someone did not just sit on my chair, but broke it. All 3 bears went cautiously into the bedroom. Someone was lying on my bed and crumpled it. Papa Bear roared in a terrible voice. And someone was lying on my bed too and crumpled it, growled the mother bear. The teddy bear looked at his bed and cried again. Someone was lying on my bed. And then he saw the girl and squealed in a thin voice, and still sleeps in her. Dad and Mom bears came to the bed and saw that a little girl was sleeping there. Goldilocks woke up from the cry of a bear cub, and was very frightened. There were 3 bears in front of her. She instantly jumped out of the house and ran wherever her eyes looked, without looking back. The girl ran for a long time. She was very tired, and then she saw her mother, who was looking for her missing daughter in the forest. Since then, Goldilocks always listened to her mother and did nothing without her permission. She became a very obedient, kind, and good girl.
It was snowing outside. It got darker and darker. It was just before Christmas. In this cold season, a little beggar girl walked through the streets with her bare head and bare feet. Her legs were completely red from the cold. In her hands the girl carried a box. It was a little match seller. For the whole day she did not sell a single match, since no one paid attention to the girl. She could not return home, because that day she did not help out a penny. The girl had no choice but to wander the streets further. Finally the girl found a cozy place around the corner of the house. She sat down on the frozen ground. The girl felt even colder. Her hands were completely frozen, and her fingers ached from the cold. She couldn't take this pain anymore. The girl timidly took out one match. With trembling hands, she struck a match against the wall. The match flashed brightly, and began to burn with an even light flame, like a tiny candle. The poor girl shifted it from hand to hand to warm her fingers. She imagined herself sitting by a large fireplace in a beautiful room. This made the girl even warmer. But suddenly, the flame went out. The fireplace disappeared, and only a burnt match remained in his hand. The girl lit another match. To prevent the wind from blowing, the poor thing turned to face the wall. The girl looked at the match, and the wall suddenly disappeared. A large, elegant room appeared before her eyes. There were many different foods on a set table with a snow-white tablecloth. The girl wanted to take a piece of meat, but the match went out, and a cold, damp wall again stood in front of the poor thing. The girl lit another match. Now she was sitting in front of a luxurious Christmas tree. This tree was much taller and more elegant than those that the girl had ever seen. Thousands of candles burned on its green branches. The girl could not take her eyes off them. But suddenly the match went out. The lights began to go higher and higher, and soon turned into clear stars. The girl again struck a match against the wall, and when everything around was lit up, she saw how one of the stars rolled across the sky, leaving a long trail of fire behind it. Probably someone died, the girl thought. Her beloved grandmother said more than once that when an asterisk falls, someone's soul flies into heaven. And suddenly, her kind and affectionate grandmother appeared in front of the girl. She appeared for a short moment. And then the match burned out in the girl's hands. The image dear to her vanished. The girl hastily struck all the matches remaining in the pack, just to see her grandmother again. The matches flared up so blindingly that it became brighter than during the day. The grandmother appeared in front of the girl again. She had never seen her as beautiful as she is now. The girl dreamed that it would never end. Grandmother took her granddaughter by the hand, and together they flew high into the sky where there is no hunger, no cold, no fear. The little girl felt extraordinarily good. And just at that moment a star flew across the sky. On a frosty morning, around the corner of the house, they found a little girl lying under the wall. Her eyes were closed. A blush played on her cheeks. An affectionate smile lit up her face. There were a lot of burnt matches around the girl. No one had any idea what miracle she happened to see, and among what beauty they, together with their grandmother, met this Christmas night.